great food.
You know what I love about January 1st at midnight is the look on the guy at Walmart's face when it's 12:01 and you're like, I want a fishing license.
Let's go. Do you really shoot the halibut once you get him close to the surface?
We just shoot the halibut every Thursday.
Fellas, get back in that current.
I love it.
I hate
That's
you.
all right.
I hate me too, bud.
It's okay, Ryan.
Like a really fat branch, definitely.
Should we just fast forward to the part where I say, so you got skunked?
I have a question for you. So
You came to the right place, bud.
no, listen.
And we are back. You are listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. We are in the current, boys. That current sounds good.
It's bubbling.
Oh, yeah. We are Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust.
You can trust them.
I'm Ryan. Who do I got around the table with me tonight?
I'm Steve.
This is Pick.
And I'm Will.
What's going on, boys?
Hey, guys.
Couple more people tonight, bud.
Happy
telling
New
you.
Year.
Thank goodness. Happy New Year indeed, Stevie. Mm-hmm. We got all of that holiday hullabaloo behind us.
Yeah.
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 There's lots of hullabaloo.
That's a lot of hullabaloo.
Whole lot of it. But
It's getting in the way of my deer killings.
before we get into it,
Oh, here we go.
yeah, Will and his deer killings. Before we get into it, boys, let me tell you a little bit about this month's sponsor. This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubes were designed and developed to protect and lubricate your firearms, your bows, your tree stands, heck, all your outdoor equipment.
What about fishing rods?
Absolutely fishing rods, Stevie. You know it.
No way.
You know it. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff was originally designed to use in automotive undercoatings. Now, it don't get more corrosive than that.
I heard that.
That's true.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah, buddy.
does it leave a film or residue?
Absolutely not, Brian. No film, no residue. This stuff isn't going to harm the bluing on your firearms, any other kind of finish you got on any of your other outdoor products. This stuff is the ticket. And what? Now, wait.
I bet it freezes.
It does not freeze, Bucky.
What?
Oh,
But there's one more thing I got to tell you about. This stuff will also act as a cover scent.
You got
How
me.
many times you ever taken a well-protected and lubricated piece of equipment in the outdoors? It stinks, boys.
it
Yes, it
stinks.
does.
Not this stuff. They got the earth and the pine cover scent mixed right into the lubricant.
Wow.
They
Come
thought
on.
of
Can't beat it.
everything.
That's right, guys. Make sure you head on over to pfcoutdoors.com. Check out everything they got going on over there. Pick up some of that lube. It's the ticket. I sure do love that PFC.
Oh, it's some good stuff.
I'll tell you. I'm going to have to put a little bit all up on my Flintlock here in a minute. Soon going to be hanging that one up.
It's
Your what?
that comes and goes
Flintlock.
pretty quickly.
Oh, your Flintlock.
I think they extended the season, though. I didn't pay much
I
attention to
thought
what
you
last
said
year.
footlock.
No, my Flintlock. Bud.
Well, that's something he did when he was an MMA wrestler.
That
My Footlock.
yeah.
No, my Flintlock. Because I guess we're more than or about halfway through the late season at
Already.
this point. Yeah, it goes pretty quick. This year's a little bit longer. That's what I was getting at.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think they extended the season. I didn't pay attention to what last year's dates were, but this one runs till January 20th statewide.
Yeah.
Unless you're in like those special regs areas like the Parkins boys. I think they got till sometime in February.
Yeah, they're cool.
February, March.
Yeah,
Check your regs.
yeah, you should.
What can you kill in Flintlock? Is it just deer?
Yes, sir.
So it's not bear,
No, it's a
turkey, or anything like that.
It's an extended deer season. Yep.
Okay. Is that just? Are there any other states nearby where you can harvest other big game with Flintlock that you guys know of? Like any
Pig.
pig?
Pig.
Pig?
Oh,
Pig.
No kidding.
Pig.
That
There's
would be
feral hog around.
That would be a fun hunt.
Yeah.
A pig with a flintlock.
Click boom.
Well, I know in Pennsylvania you can hunt other species, just not during our late season. That late season's just for
Right.
whitetail. But you can use a
You
flintlock.
can use a flintlock
Yeah,
all
but-
year long.
But I don't
That could
know.
be your preference.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not sure why you would want to do that. but
I don't.
His grandfather.
I didn't want to
send
say
him
that, but
Yeah.
one. Didn't gift him one
no.
posthumously. No.
Either
I've
way,
actually I've struggled a bit
Really?
with the Flintlock.
Why is that?
Yeah.
I've yet to kill anything with it.
You have history.
When did you get it?
This particular one's the Traditions PA pellet, which is, I guess, there's probably some Flintlock hunters out there that would look down upon me
It's a Pinto.
because it's the modern version. I guess you could make the same argument for the guys that complain about crossbow hunters during archery season, right? It's still Flintlock,
Absolutely.
but it's a modern Flintlock in the fact that there's a breech plug in
Okay.
the back, which is nice because I don't have to fire it to unload it.
Yeah.
Or deal with that whole thing with the ball puller and all that stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, sir, not my style.
So
But I got the Traditions PA pellet, and I haven't had an opportunity to shoot it except for one time,
It's
and
the
of course
PA
didn't go
Pellet.
off.
is this
French.
just Flintlock or is it muzzleloader?
Flintlock.
Flintlock only.
Must be Flintlock.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
percussion cap, no inline.
Okay.
Flintlock only.
You can't have it. Can you have a scope or not? I don't
Negative.
think you can have a
Nope.
scope.
No scope.
That's the other thing
Open
where
Open
mine's
sights only.
my PA pellet is
Pellet.
bordering on being too modern. I have fiber optic sights
Oh boy.
on there.
Check your
So
regs.
It's kind of nice. They're perfectly legal, but
Just check them.
you should still check them, of course.
Read them again.
But most of your guys that you see out there, that especially the ones that talk about looking forward to, Flintlock season.
Yeah.
Those guys are shooting like old school long rifles with complete iron sights, and
Yeah.
I have enough trouble getting a modern one to go off.
Now, is that granulated powder that you put in there, or can you use pellets?
The idea with this rifle, this one in particular, is that you can use pellets.
Okay.
I tried it, and at the range, I was having a real hard time getting it to go off.
Okay.
So I still use loose powder.
Yeah.
I do 2F in the barrel, 4F in the pan.
Yep. That's what.
And
most-
that's literally what you say after you try to fire it.
Oh, there's many more than 4Fs.
yeah.
There's different orange requirements during Flintlock, right?
The new requirements, because I've checked my regs for Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
there are none.
There are none.
No longer required to wear orange for Flintlock.
Why is that?
Well, it's a safety thing, but they changed the regs
Right.
that they don't require it.
I wonder why.
My assumption would be your muzzleloader isn't as effective as far as the range
Yeah.
and the feet per second, and obviously you can still have an injury, if you
Accident,
will,
sure.
by a discharge of a flintlock, but the chances of that are a lot less. So maybe the Pennsylvania Game Commission says, hey, this is just like archery,
Right.
You still have an effective range, but that is limited by that.
There's probably
what you use.
statistical reasons maybe why just the number of incidents is so
Yeah.
low in late
Could
season.
be.
There's a lot fewer people participating in that season.
You see a lot of people in traditional garb too. Like
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
That's the
Like
cool-
There's probably a really big push from that community.
just to kind of preserve a little bit of history.
Yeah.
And there's
How far out have you shot yours?
I think at the range,
Yeah.
I was at a 100-yard range
Really?
where I've had it. And it's,
You hitting a pie plate
Yeah,
at 100?
pretty
That's-
much,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
but even at the range, I'm going through that whole process where like I'm cleaning this gun really, really well
Yeah.
between shots. Stuff
When you
like-
say
It's-
really well, you putting 3 or 4 patches down through there?
yeah, and
Okay.
that's why I love this PA pellet because
Yeah.
you take that breech plug out when you
Yeah.
take the barrel off.
I didn't know
remove
they had
the
that,
breech
and
plug
I used to think that they weren't as sturdy as other ones.
Mhm.
And but that breech pub, you're changing my brain.
yeah, it's so convenient.
Yeah,
It's so
I
convenient.
can remember back in the day, I have a Thompson Center Hawken,
That's what I have.
and I tell you what, I hated cleaning that thing. It was a laborious process, hot water.
Yeah.
That's the one I
pulling
started
the-
with. Actually,
pulling the
was
thing up,
Hawk.
through the what do you want to
The
call
touch
it?
hole.
Yeah, and then driving it down through and pulling it up, pushing it down through. That it took like 15 or 20 minutes to clean the barrel.
Wow. In
I can-
between
It was-
shots.
No, at the end of the season when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just
Okay.
it stunk. It
Yeah.
just was. It was not. As a young boy, I did not like cleaning my muzzleloader with my father.
I have a trick. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but the trick for black powder
Yeah.
Murphy's oil soap.
Okay.
So I started with the Hawken also,
Yeah.
and I still have it.
Uh-huh.
And I like the gun. I like shooting it, but in a hunting situation, I just haven't had any luck.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to. But if you're using an actual, traditional style flintlock without the breech plug and you're forced to clean it that way,
Yeah.
Murphy's oil soap.
Yeah.
You
Now-
fill your bucket with hot water, put a couple capfuls of that in there and mix it up. When you run it through, just pulling the water in and out of the touch hole, till you're done with that, of course, it turns everything nice and dark
Right.
in the bucket.
Yeah.
But then you pull it out, run a couple of patches, and it's done.
Cleaned it up.
You
Yeah.
hit it with some PFC after that.
That's the thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do now. I'm going to coat everything with PFC
Yeah.
after the season's over. So next year, cleaning should be much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I never killed one with a muzzleloader either. I do remember several times pulling back and having your experiences where you hit the pan, or it doesn't even the powder in the pan doesn't even go off. I remember a doe 50, 60 yards broadside. I must have pulled that hammer back 4 or 5 times, and she just stood there and looked at me.
Yep.
And I'm like, you
Wow.
got to be kidding me. And I know there's a delay sometimes of when that it will ignite. So I stood there and held that after the hammer went down for 4 or 5 seconds, thinking it was going to go off.
Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes, here it
And
goes.
then nothing.
Why
and
is
then
it going?
yeah. Now I remember going back down to my dad, and we met up, and he said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Dad, this thing would not go off." He screwdriver flipped the flint around, turned it backwards, said, "Shoot at that stump out there." First time, like, you've got to be kidding
Yeah.
me. Yeah, so it is
You guys
frustrating.
aren't making it easy on me to not Tommy top you.
Oh, let me guess. You killed the biggest buck of your life with the flintlock yesterday.
No, I killed a doe.
Big Tommy
I had
topper.
a doe. One
Yeah.
doe with the flintlock.
Had a boy.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing crazy.
Where was that at?
Bedford
Probably behind the
County.
shoulder.
No way.
No.
Right behind the shoulder.
In the vitals.
Perfect. But I've had both times where it wouldn't go off, or
Yeah.
you're there and it just starts to sprinkle a little bit, and your hunt's over.
Well, what are the deer doing now? Like, what's their
Bed to food, bed to food,
I was just
bed
going
to
to
food.
say
Is that-
food.
Yep.
Okay, so the rut's over,
Yeah.
They're
and
grouping
we're
back
all
up.
just
The bucks are hanging out.
the
together
hormones
again.
have settled down, and
Yeah. And when I say bed to food, they're doing bed to food, but they're also a lot more aware of their surroundings after, being chased around as much as they were during firearm season.
Yeah.
When they come through, they're on full alert all the time, just waiting. I actually thought I was going to get an opportunity on New Year's Eve that day. Was out with the flintlock, and I was set up in a stand about 20 yards off of a creek that separates these two properties. And I got up in the stand, and it was one of those days where it was super sunny. So when you're dealing with that, and of course it was the day I didn't bring a baseball cap, and I just had a knit cap.
Yeah.
So it was just so bright, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to see anything. I'm struggling. Just everything looks like something's moving.
Right.
A little bit of a wind going that I didn't like, and 4 o'clock, wind shuts off, clouds roll in, everything goes gray, and I was like, it is
It's gonna happen.
on.
here it is.
Not more than 5 minutes after the weather changed, from the hill behind me on the other side of the creek, I stood up, look over my shoulder, right behind the tree. These deer are coming down off the hill directly toward the creek.
What?
And I'm thinking they're going to hit because right behind my tree is a low spot in the creek where they cross.
Yeah.
That's why this stand is where it is. It's
Yeah,
right at the
yeah.
crossing. And they're coming down off that hill right to the crossing. I'm like, here we go.
It's on.
And I actually have my hand on the lock, and I'm starting to rock it backwards. And as soon as they hit the top bank of the creek,
Yeah.
turned and walked parallel to the creek away from me on the neighbor's property.
Jeez.
I thought, you sons of guns. Just two big old chubby does.
They might have known that stand was there.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, any number of reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't win me or anything like that. And
Right.
it's just, they came down off the hill, and I thought, this is it.
Yeah.
But there's a nice heavy trail that runs on that side of the creek, too. So they just decided to follow that instead of crossing.
Right. Right.
That's my kind of luck right there.
buddy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Let me be the first to say.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Sorry, bud.
I feel your love, and I appreciate it. But that was it was a beautiful night to end the year on. I'll tell you that much.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I smoked a turkey.
What?
I did.
Was it the biggest turkey you've ever smoked?
Well, it wasn't a whole turkey. It was just the you buy
Bits-
like a
bits of turkey?
You buy I got a turkey breast, but it was everything but the legs and the thighs. So
The turkey cavity.
yeah, they included. So I should have just got the whole turkey. But
In retrospect.
yeah, looking back, I should have.
So what'd they call that?
What's that?
What'd they call that?
Turkey breast. I mean,
Oh.
that's what I told the guy at the
A thighless,
butcher.
wingless
The turkey
turkey
upper
breast?
body.
Take one
I'll
of them
tell you
turkey
what,
breasts.
you can get a good look at a turkey's. You got to, because it's your bowl.
Yeah.
New guys in the corner.
So how did it turn out, buddy?
It was great. It was, and I didn't, I guess it was a smoke, but it wasn't with wood. It was with charcoal. And
Charcoal?
Yes, it was.
Never heard of that.
You don't know what
For
you're missing.
Christmas or?
We ate it New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow.
So you put it in your grill.
Yeah. Yeah, a guy I work with has been telling me about. He does it this way for Thanksgiving.
Clay pots.
And no, it wasn't clay.
I thought he got a job over at the gift shop there
the gift shop.
at your place.
At work.
No, no. You brine it, for 24 hours or so. Water,
Brine.
with brine, yeah. Water,
Generous.
salt,
Just
some spices,
Mashed up shrimp.
brown
I'll bet
sugar.
that'd be all right.
I don't know.
Baby shrimp.
Shrimpy turkey.
Ask Pick. He does it for every year. For
It's a Christmas tradition, isn't it?
That's
In
oysters.
Maryland.
That's oysters.
it's brine.
Brined oysters,
Shrimpy
or oyster
turkey.
brine, and build a charcoal fire and set it in there in direct. Kind of pile the charcoal briquettes on one side of the grill and put the turkey in a couple pans on the other, and pack a lot of butter in there and let it roll.
Really, that easy.
That easy. I kept having that. It was really windy.
Right.
At my house on New Year's Eve. Really windy and cold. So I kept having to have charcoal. And once it got up to like 145, 150, it was getting dark. It was really windy. So I took it inside and finished it for the last half hour in the oven. But, best turkey I ever had.
That's cool.
Is that right?
Shut your
Yeah.
mouth.
I'm not. You had like the red. You know how it's. Maybe it just wasn't done. I don't know. But there was. there was.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's all
Like
pink.
the,
You can
like the
see
smoke rings?
Yeah.
So you just didn't put it over top of the coals,
No.
just indirect heat. and
Indirect heat
smoke.
and a lot of smoke. I threw some hickory chips on there that I had.
now you tell us.
But I don't think it did anything.
You don't think?
It was it was like
I smoked
half
it,
a handful,
but it wasn't with any wood.
But it was mostly charcoal.
Charcoal and hickory.
Yeah, you got to try it. Well, you guys won't try
Smoking
it. But
turkey.
I'll
maybe
try it, bud.
Yeah, Ryan, you should try. I have
But I'll
an
probably
electric
run a smoke
smoker.
tube in there with
Yeah,
it.
it was just a heavily smoked. Like if I overindulge on smoked stuff, I get sick. Like it tears my stomach apart. And I ate a lot of this turkey, and I was fine.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. Was that the first time you've smoked?
No. I have an electric smoker.
Okay.
But that I
You just tried with the charcoal.
yeah, and I normally do that because that's easy.
Set it and
But,
forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Did you run a thermometer temperature gauge in that thing?
I just popped the lid and stuck it in there every once in a while.
You have just one of those little hand probe deals. Yep.
Yeah.
Is this warm to the touch?
As long as it's warm to the touch, I call it done.
Good.
Slice open a thick part. It's red. It's done.
I like my turkey medium rare.
Not recommended.
Check your USDA regs on that, though.
Well, it sounds delicious.
Well, it was. And I had some for lunch today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little turkey upper.
Yeah, you're living high in the turkey.
Oh, you better believe it. I might do it again this weekend. I don't know.
I'm down.
Not sure.
Pick up another turkey north end. Just the
Yeah.
from the ribs up.
This time he
Wingless,
just,
thighless, legless.
this time he just does
Just give me
wings
the
and
ribs.
thighs.
Turkey
Ribs
ribs.
and gizzards.
The giblets.
That's the name of my,
Smoke the giblets.
That's the name of my restaurant.
Ribs and gizzards.
Did you have a good
Rotten Rivers, ribs and gizzards.
I like it. Did you have a good Christmas, Stevie?
Yeah. Yeah, we traveled a bunch, going to see
Did you
different
get any
families.
fish and stuff?
No. No.
Do you feel
You must have been a naughty boy.
No.
ignored,
No, I didn't really.
slighted?
I didn't really put in a request for anything.
You have a beef
very
with the
much
big man?
Didn't write a
this
letter
year.
to Santa Claus.
No. So I rolled the dice and I got a lot of camping
Came
stuff.
up craps.
So, yeah.
Creps.
No, a lot of camping stuff. We're hoping to do a lot more of that this year too. So, but no, it was really good.
Good.
Really good Christmas.
How about you, Pick?
Low key.
Will and I rehashed all of our stuff last week when we were the only ones here.
It was the best podcast.
Was it really?
Yeah.
You guys missed it.
I listened to it. It sounded like you guys are having a great time.
Oh, we did.
Pheasant
I've never
pot
had
pie
such
or
a connection
whatever.
with another married man.
boy.
Like one married man sitting with another married man.
Yeah.
Like we were locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
I could tell.
one day I can have that experience.
You keep hoping, bud.
I know.
Let's see. Hope in one hand and, well, you know what they say.
Cricket sound effect.
But how was your
someday,
Christmas?
Pick? It's
It
going to
was
happen
good.
for you.
It was good. We had my wife's sister and her husband live in Oklahoma, and so they traveled in. Yeah, they live in Oklahoma
okay.
City, so they traveled in for the week, and it's been probably, I think they said it was 5 years since they've been home.
Oh, wow.
For Christmas, so it was nice to see and visit with them.
Very cool.
So it was kind of low key. We just
There's
stayed
trouble
local
in River
and-
City.
With capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. That stands for pool. That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so it was pretty low key. Didn't do a whole
Pretty
lot.
low key, you say?
Pretty low key.
But that's not from Oklahoma, Will. I just want you to know that.
What's that from?
Music Man, I think.
Yeah.
I get them all wrong.
I did.
I'm glad you were here, bud.
Yeah, thanks.
I did get something that I possibly can take something bigger than a white-tailed deer.
I saw a photograph.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
So
What did you do?
My father-in-law.
You got all Stevie's goodwill from Santa.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was generous enough to hand down one of his rifles to me. They're in the process of doing some remodeling and moving, and so we were kind of rearranging some of his stuff, and then he
Did you
laid
just
out.
take it?
Well, no, he laid everything out.
Pick rearranged it to his truck. How's that look?
I found this.
We were cleaning everything and just making sure everything was in good order, and he looked at all of his firearms laid out there, and he said, "Hey, pick which one you want." I said, "What?" He said,
Is that right?
"Pick which one you want." And then he basically said,
Did he say pick which one you want?
Yeah, it was rhetorical. Maybe when I die.
he said, "You're going to end up." I said, "No, I can't." He said, "Well, you're going to end up with them anyway." He said, "You might as well get one now."
Well, in that case,
And so he volunteered. He said, "You don't have a 7mm mag, do you?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "Well, you do now." There you go.
That's
so yeah. He gave me it's a Ruger M77.
Wow.
7mm mag. So
That's the one.
yeah. So there's an interesting story about that
This better be
rifle.
That's a tall order.
About I don't know
with a
how
lead
long
in like that, bud.
I hope everyone's sitting down.
Yeah. I now after saying that, I don't know if I should tell the story.
No, we have
This
to hear
might
it.
not
No,
be
you can't
interesting
do
enough.
that.
Give everybody a break here to go get a beverage.
Well, what's
can't
interesting
do that.
It's not a
we'll
long
be the
story.
judge of that.
That's all right.
About 10 or 15 years ago, he and a few other friends went to Colorado on an elk hunt. I don't know at what timeline during the hunt they were walking through the woods and looked over and saw this rifle sitting against a tree.
What?
Rusted.
Stolen.
The scope was not usable. It was fogged up. It had been there for a long period of time.
Who would leave that?
I don't know. The barrel was pitted. My father-in-law, I don't know if it was him or a gentleman that they went out on the hunt with, found this rifle. They picked it up, opened the bolt. It was loaded.
Oh my!
So there was nobody around. And obviously, again, being that it was rusted and laying there, the scope was fogged up. It was, unusable. It had been there for a long period of time.
Wow.
So they looked at each other and said, they said, this thing has been here for a while. None of the guys in the camp had a rifle that they left. So I don't know the story. Maybe another hunter went out there and set his rifle against the tree and walked off and couldn't find the tree, or maybe
got
somebody
eaten
hit.
by a bear.
Could be. Yeah. So
I'll bet you they butchered. They quartered a elk or something. Right there, it was leaned up against a tree, and they started packing it out, and he just left his gun.
Just forgot
like
about
he
it.
probably was
Probably just
successful.
probably flew out the next day or something.
Yeah.
I'm not
So-
going back for it.
That's crazy.
It had a wooden stock which was all delaminated and swollen, and it had a.
It sounds like a great gun pick.
well.
Shoot straight.
They had taken it to.
Good luck with it.
They had taken it to.
I was jealous of it for a minute.
I was too. Not anymore.
If you look at the picture, it is in well working order, well working condition. They had put a laminate stock on it. They rebedded it, put a laminate stock on it, had taken it to a gunsmith, had it reblued, had it cleaned. My father-in-law put a new scope on it, and he said, "Man, the last time I shot this, it shot real well." So
Cool.
yeah. So
Well, that is kind of interesting.
I got a nice big caliber rifle for
That's
for
cool.
Christmas,
I'll allow it.
courtesy
It was
of my
interesting.
father-in-law. So.
Now, do you know, is that a 7mm Remington mag or Weatherby?
Yes, it's a Remington Rem mag, 7mm Rem mag.
Well, either way, I got a die set, so let me know when
Yeah.
you need bullets.
Okay.
Holler
Let us
at your
know when you
boy.
need 'em.
Yeah, I will. Hopefully, I'm gonna get an opportunity to take something bigger.
You got anything planned?
It does a number on whitetail, bud.
Well, I'm not gonna that 6.5 that I got this year.
yeah,
That's
that's true.
my PA, my whitetail rifle for PA. But if I ever get an opportunity to go out for mule deer or for elk, that might be the weapon of
my.
choice. Yeah. Yep.
You planning something?
Down the road. That's
It's always willing to say right now.
yeah.
2021.
Yeah, I would
Next year.
love to plan something for maybe not next year. If my brain says that right now, I don't know if I could put together a hunt for 2020. I would love to have enough time to research and the resources to look and make sure that the place that I end up going is someplace I want to go.
If you want, we can start looking for guests that are more West centric.
West centric.
Yeah,
Yeah, elk centric.
Elk centric.
Yeah.
out in the western part of the country, and maybe we could start
There's
picking some brains.
There's a pretty good chance you might have an opportunity to speak with a number of folks in about 4 weeks from now.
I believe so. Yeah, not too far from here.
Great
is
American
true.
Outdoor
All in
Show.
one place.
Is that what
Is
you're
that
referring
coming
to?
already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
buddy.
night of living.
Are you? Do you get excited about it, or is it? Are you fretting?
Start shaking.
Is it PTSD?
I don't get excited until we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get excited. Before that, it's
Anxious.
anxiousness. Yeah. Frettations. I don't know if that's a word.
No, yes.
Is that a word?
That's a perfect
Yeah,
word
I fret.
for it.
Yeah.
Is it similar to the way you feel about lining up some Christmas episodes?
Or like climbing the rope in gym class.
Or like climbing the rope? It's more. That's a different kind of anxious.
That's a different kind of
he's
feeling.
I don't remember climbing the rope in gym class. No, I do.
Yeah, you probably did once or twice.
Yeah. We
The rope
did.
remembers you.
I heard that.
This
You look like somebody to get all the way to the top.
says Stevie this
Yeah.
year.
Oh, I did.
All the way to the top.
Oh my goodness. I was like I don't even know if we did that like 8th or 9th grade. I'm not sure if I was even triple digits in weight then.
You just pull yourself right
Yeah, I
up.
just,
Fly right
like
up. That's vertical
like a
testing,
chimpanzee or something like that.
not
you know?
tasting, but testing.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I was that husky boy all
Were
through.
you?
Yeah. I get up about 15 or 20 feet and I'm like, man, if I fall, I'm going to leave a big hole in that floor. I was always a big boy. I could never make it up the rope.
I was close to your camp. Like I could make it up, but I hated every second of it. Every stinking second of
Did
it.
you use the ones with the knots in it or the straight rope?
Straight,
Yeah.
big, super fat.
Yeah. The knot ones were nice, except coming down, they were a lot worse.
Little speed bumps.
Yeah. Yeah, they're no good.
No buenos.
No bueno.
Wow, that's a cool pick. I'm glad you got a nice gun.
Yeah.
You were out the other night too, weren't you?
Yeah, I was out. This time of year when deer season's winding down, I like to get into some predator hunting.
Thank goodness.
About deer season being over, or about getting out predator hunting.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you-
the last
Did you
one.
end up taking a doe at all, or you didn't?
No, I had all intention of getting out with my muzzleloader, and this Saturday is our
How
last
many
day.
doe did you pass?
He's got
'Cause,
35
There's
part
no
doe-
reason.
doe tag soup.
There's no reason I should not have a doe. Yeah, there is not.
Well, there is a reason.
I didn't
Pass.
pull the release or the trigger.
Your trigger finger stuck.
Passovers.
Yeah.
What would somebody? So we were talking about this, but before the show started, that in Maryland you were adding up, and it's upwards of 30 some doe or something like that.
I
between the
remember.
seasons.
I misspoke the last time about bag limits. I was
Yeah.
looking at the regulations this last week, and you can kill 10 doe with each weapon, each rifle, muzzleloader, and then 15 with archery gear. So, and that's with the regular license without any bonus tag. So, I have never even come close. I think the most deer that I have killed in one season was 4. I killed 1 buck and 3 doe.
This is Maryland, right?
This is Maryland.
So there's
Yeah.
no like WMUs in Maryland or anything like that.
The state is separated into 2 regions, Region A and Region B.
How's that divided? Like north south or?
It's east west.
Okay.
So 2/3 of the state, relatively, is your Region B, which is the eastern side. The 2
Like
farthest.
the panhandle then is
The western part, Allegheny, Garrett, and half of Washington County is Region A.
That's near us.
That's more mountainous.
Okay.
That is less population of deer. So their bag limits are a little more conservative. You can only kill the last
18.
3 days of the season. No.
Yeah, it's
You can
terrible.
the last 3 days of
How
the
am I
season
supposed to feed my family?
is doe season.
Yeah.
So you have 3 days if you're in that region.
Wow.
Now, you don't have to reside. Obviously, if you're a resident of Maryland, you can travel anywhere throughout the state, or non-resident for that matter. But if you're in that particular area, you have to follow those regulations. Just like Kyle, PA, but that special reg area has different bag limits.
Yeah, they have a rule that if you don't kill a deer, then
They won't
you don't
sell
get,
you a license
Yeah, you don't
next
get a
year.
license next year because you're terrible. There's so many deer.
I've had all intentions of getting out with my muzzleloader, but there are times that I woke up and I felt like I needed recharged. So I got up, things were ready, and I laid back down, and I needed more rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I may get out Saturday. It all depends on circumstances, but I got a chance to possibly get one with the muzzleloader. Then our archery season still stays in till the end of the month, till January 31st. So we keep having this warmer weather. It's going to be bearable to be out there with your archery gear and possibly.
You were
draw back.
talking though about getting out at night
for predators.
hunting.
Yeah. That this time of the year in Maryland, fox and coyote have a season in Maryland. Coyote you can hunt 365 days a year during the daytime, but nighttime only certain parts of the year. So both.
How many coyotes are taken during the daytime?
historically they move more in the evening. They're out, they're a nocturnal predator. But obviously as most of us have seen in the deer woods, we see fox and coyote in passing. I don't want to speak for everybody, but
I've seen fox.
You've seen fox?
Yeah, I have not seen a coyote with my own eyes in the woods.
Okay.
I know I'm in areas where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to shoot one at a moment's notice.
Yeah, last year up in Wyoming County, I killed one during rifle season. That was middle of the day.
That's right. You did, didn't you?
And
I stand corrected.
And then this year,
I sit corrected.
There you go. Makes more sense.
And this year I saw one during archery season in Maryland during the day.
Man.
So they're out, but
I don't know anything about coyotes.
Nighttime is just so much more active. I mean, it's like turkey season. You have, it's legal to have an electronic caller. So I have a Fox Pro.
I thought you were going to say they roost in trees.
No.
What is your collar?
It's active.
Does it
choker
keep you,
collar?
It's
does it keep you in check, or like when do you swear? Does it go off? Or like
no, it's not a collar, like a dog collar. It's a collar.
Collar.
Like a
collar.
Like hello collar. Are you there?
C-A-L-L.
Collar.
I thought you meant like you were.
No,
it was a fashion statement. Or something.
No. It's a collar by Fox Pro. A Fox Pro Fusion, and that has 100 preset sounds.
That's insane.
It's pretty cool.
That's Bluetooth, isn't it?
It's remote control. It has its own remote. So you can set it up to, I believe the range is like 100 or 150 yards.
Wow.
Depending on the topography. But usually you set the collar up between 20 and 30 yards. Turn the collar on. You can either do vocals to attract coyote or fox, or prey. So,
what's vocal?
A vocal is like a
hey fox,
a fox bark.
Okay,
fox bark or
hey fox.
It doesn't quite sound like that, but
Stevie, that reminds me. I gotta show you my duck call sometime. But it goes a little bit like, here, ducky, ducky, ducky.
I thought you have a collar for ducks that they wear.
That'd be great.
Someone help me out with collars. I'm just lost.
Is the species you're hunting
correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether it be their language.
A pup distress, which will obviously trigger a female's instinct to protect a young. She'll come running in just to see what's, potentially, grabbing a immature or juvenile fox. And coyotes are territorial. Okay. So if there's another male or female in their area, they're going to say, "Who the heck is that? I want to go over and see who it is and possibly challenge them." But 85 to 90% of our calls are going to be mice. There's a call on there called Cottontail. Baby Cottontail brings them in. Yeah. There's
a creepy sounding one too.
Oh,
what's it sound like? Jackrabbit. There's a nutty
Those
nuthatch.
sounds make me so anxious. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's a feature on Fox Pro's calls that it's actually called Dinner Bell. And you just hit that, and it actually goes through a series, increases, it increases and decreases in volume. It pauses. It changes from a cottontail to a jackrabbit to a distress, and you just let it go. So as that call is being played, you have I have a red light. Red light doesn't bother the predators as far as spooking them, and you're scanning back and forth.
Can they just not see that wavelength light, or
I believe so. I've seen videos, and I know guys that have killed predators with white lights.
Yeah.
So it can be done with white, but I believe it is less bothersome, and it doesn't affect the animal with a red light wave. And as that predator comes in and you spot eyes, you number one have to identify your target via your scope, and there's so you have a scan light that I hunt with, and then I have a light that's mounted onto my scope. and that's your shoot light. So
Okay.
the beam is more
Focus.
concentrated.
Yeah.
Correct. So as you hit that kill light, that puts a direct beam on that animal predator. As you look through your scope, you identify what it is, and then you can pause the caller a lot of times, and the animal will stop, and then you take a shot. Or a lot of times, an animal will get into the caller itself, and then basically just stop and see, what that noise is, and then you get your shot opportunity. So there are some times that predators will hang up 150, 200 yards out, and there has been times where we've had a fox on the call at 10 yards.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. I enjoy it. I went out for the first time this year Monday night. Myself and actually two good friends of mine. One is a follower and a faithful listener, Matt Davis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
Yeah. And then Justin Hamilton. He's actually going to be a partner of mine in a contest that's coming up.
way.
Yeah. So he and I are going to be getting together for a contest in about 2 weeks. We were out, first set, 8 minutes in, look to our left, and here comes a fox. He had seen fox there before. We knew the general direction that they were going to be coming from. Unfortunately, the wind was not in our favor, and it was the only place that we could set up just due to the topography, and there's roads, and but we spotted a fox. As it got into our wind, it stopped and whirled and took off. So
Oh, no way.
yeah. So that was it. But we had 3 other sets that we set up on, and didn't see another set of eyes that night. But it was pretty cool to get out.
You're finding an area where you think there's probably predators, set up your call, and then flip it on and just wait.
That's it.
You're not in a blind or
No.
you're just sitting out.
No.
So you got to have good clothes, warm clothes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were running the scan light the whole time.
Yeah, you're running the scan light the whole time.
Wow.
I also have, and there are different types of lights. I have one, a headlamp that as you look left and right, it scans. I also have another product by Fox Pro called a Fire Eye, and it's basically like a spotlight with a trigger, and you turn that thing on and you scan back and forth. So you're scanning the entire time.
I would need the scan lights though, because as Will had mentioned about those calls, there are some creepy sounds, and I can't imagine sitting in the dark, listening to that,
Attracting whatever.
just like it's bringing in ghosts and ghouls. It scares me.
Clowns.
Clowns, for sure.
Yeah, the Fox Pro is pretty amazing with the variety of sounds. There's a feature on the remote that you can change the pitch.
It's a clown dinner bell.
So you can increase and decrease the pitch and make it even more weird.
Distressful.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Make it more distressful.
Yeah.
Are there decoys or baiting or anything like that goes along with?
I mean, there are some people that will sit over.
Old Roy.
Throw out a pile, Roy.
Well, the collar that I have actually does have an antenna, if you will. It has kind of like a wire with a tail or a bird or something that will spin around, and that is controlled by your remote.
Gotcha.
So some people don't think that it's as effective at night. During the daylight hours, it's just another visual cue for the predator to be able to pinpoint that spot, take possibly eyes off of you as you're moving or trying to get your rifle or shotgun on the predator.
Can you throw out something with a little bit of scent, like if you have a pheasant carcass or something like that left over? Is that okay?
There are some people that hunt over, gut piles, if you will, or there are people that have harvested deer, and if they live in an area where they have access to, if you live on a farm like we do, we have a particular spot where we take all of our, unused parts of the deer.
All the trimmings.
So that yes, there would be predators, buzzards, possum, raccoons that visit that site.
Clowns.
Serious clowns.
But that could be a technique or a tactic that people use.
Go on, get clown. Go on.
That's where they get their red face paint.
Yeah. I think. Did you ever get downwind of a clown?
No. What's it smell like?
It smells funny.
How late do you normally stay out? Like I get tired around
like
9:30, 10 o'clock.
That's usually when we get in the truck
Really?
and start heading out. Yeah,
Oh, my.
that's what
Did I
one of
steal
the
that punchline from you, Will? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
that's one of the things I like about predator hunting. When deer season is over and I'm at work, I'm not upset about not being out because I know when I get off work, I can hunt till the sun comes up the next morning if I have the time to do so.
Yeah.
So I went out the other night, and I got home about 11:30. But the contest that's coming up, a friend of mine who now has become friends of mine has created a group called the Predator Hunters of Maryland. Started with a small Facebook group, and he got together and had a contest with 10 people.
Yeah.
Now there are 65 to 70 guys that are signing up for this contest.
Oh, wow.
5 years later.
Why are you holding out on me, bud? It sounds like
It's
nice guy to
it
talk
is
to.
it is a very
Chris Matthews from Dateline's coming to the banquet. Predator Hunters.
it is very tiring.
Anyway,
But to answer your question, Stevie,
not that kind of club,
it's
though, right?
it's late. It is
Is it
late.
late?
Yeah. During the contest, it's a 35 Friday at 6 p.m. The contest starts, and to be fair for everyone across the
To be fair.
state of Maryland, it ends at 11:59 on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Because there are portions of Maryland that you cannot hunt on Sunday.
Okay.
So to be fair across
To be fair.
the state to everybody, 11:59. So you have possibly 35 or 35 and a half hours of hunting.
dear.
So we, I think last year out of that time, we hunted like 28 hours out of that available time
you?
hunt. So yeah, so we hunted from 6 p.m. till about 8 or 9 o'clock the next morning. Took a nap till 3:30, and then got out at dusk and hunted till 11:59.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Will and I were giggling part of this. Was this a team event?
This is a team of
Why don't you hunt
two
in shifts. You
Team
could
of
have covered
two.
the entire event.
Yeah, we could, but your opportunity
Who's
can
going to
be
run the
decreased.
squeaker?
The
Fox
opportunity can be decreased because you got 4 sets of eyes are better
you
than
need a
2
guy
out
running
there.
the squeaker, a guy running the light,
Yeah.
a shooter. Do what? What do you shoot when you're
I
predator hunting?
fox, raccoons,
Coyotes.
No,
coyotes.
I'm sorry. What weapon do you use?
I have
Squirrel.
I have I have a couple
Predator
I have a couple that I choose depending on the situation.
Yeah.
If there's an area where there is coyotes that have been seen or known to be there, I usually take a 223 out. I have a Colt AR-15,
Nice.
40 grain Hornady.
I should do it.
Yeah. If I know that it's just going to be fox, I have a Savage B-Mag and a 17 WSM, which is a Winchester Super Mag, I believe. I don't want to say short mag, a WSM. So there's a 17 HMR and there's a 17 WSM. The WSM, the cartridge is a little bit bigger, more powder, and it flies at like 3,400
You know what's funny
feet
is
per second.
you're absolutely right, but I always say short mag.
I think it's Winchester Super Mag.
Super mag.
Yeah. So they have a 20 or 25 grain bullet that's, close to 3,500 feet per second. So it's flying.
That's moving.
And then there are times when you're in close quarters and we take a shotgun. If you have a certain area where you have 20 yards and there could be a fox or a
Thought you were going to
coyote
say a Bowie knife.
no,
Close quarter combat.
shotgun. Yeah.
You take
never know.
a spear.
So there's another advantage
Hand to
to
paw
hunting.
combat.
There's another advantage to hunting with a partner. One can run a shotgun and one can run
Yeah.
a rifle. So I'm looking forward to getting out. and do some
Sounds fun.
predator hunting.
I think I could get into that.
Yeah,
That'd
I'd
be
like
cool.
to talk more about, as the season progresses, I'd like to talk more about predator hunting.
Yeah, the season will be.
How long do you sit? I mean, is it so
But
like
we covered
and-
Yeah.
38 hours.
Now we're giggling.
Not at one time.
No, I'm saying they always say, well, we got our first set and then our second set and then we're ever in our third set, but then that wasn't as good as the second set.
Yeah.
Like how long do you give yourself? Because it just, like with deer, you sit all day in the same spot or whatever. Why would coyote or fox not be the same?
Well, when you're out here, this is my theory. There may be different trains of thought on this, but my theory is after about 10 to 15 minutes, if there are any predators in that area, they would have or will have already committed to that call.
Right.
That fast.
Yes. There has been times when we have
That makes sense, I
bog
guess,
pods or tripods that are hands free. Our rifles are in the tripods and we are ready to roll. As soon as you turn that call on, if there's a fox or coyote within earshot of that, within a minute.
Yeah,
2 minutes, it could be running
makes sense.
towards the call itself. It also, during a contest, could depend on the amount of property that you have. You know, if we have, 2,000 acres that we have access to, we want to be able to try to hit all of those properties. So maybe our set time is going to be a little bit less. Normally 8 to 15 minutes. That's kind of our rule. If we feel that there's coyotes and fox in the area, then we'll sit a little bit longer. Yeah, that's it. One more cast. Yep.
I like it.
So
one more squeak.
I have to give that a chance.
that'll bring them in too.
I like
those
it.
little hand squeakers.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I kiss call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep it simple.
I was trying to think of a kiss song.
So
Beth, you hear me calling?
The fox's name is Beth. I can't go.
I even got the lyrics
right
wrong,
now.
but you know what I meant.
I know what you mean.
So stay tuned, Stevie.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Beth,
will.
What can
Yeah.
I do?
Hopefully, I can.
Bom, bom, bom.
And I'm sure
We're gonna, we should try to get more into this later in the season.
It's
All
good
right.
stuff.
Good stuff.
So, Stevie,
Yeah, bub.
why don't you take a moment, tell us all a little bit about this month's other sponsor?
All right. This month is also brought to you in part by Miser Creative LLC. Rutten River Pursuits podcast is a production of Miser Creative LLC. And if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or if you need help creating video content for social media, look us up. Give Will an email at will@ruttenriverpursuits.com for more information or pricing options. Well, guys, I'd say we did this current justice.
we did.
You'd say that. Will'd say that. Pick just said it.
Would you
sounds
say
great.
that, Ryan?
I absolutely would.
Oh,
what
fantastic.
a good time.
Well, why don't you say something else and tell the good folks listening?
I want to say
Where they can
thanks to
find
Pick
us.
for coming today because I didn't kill a big buck this week.
Really?
There's always next week, Will.
There is. Well, I will tell you this, Stevie. Mm-hmm. People can always check out what we've got going on by hopping over to RuttenRiverPursuits.com.
Noise.
They can follow us on all the social medias like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by checking out Rutten River Pursuits. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And jump on over to the YouTubes from time to time
YouTube's.
and look
Check
for us,
them out.
Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. Speaking of podcasts,
Yeah.
this one and all our back catalogs available always on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.
You know how much I love Spotify lately.
How much, bud?
It's a lot.
Noise.
Hard says radios.
We know you do. Mm-hmm. Well, good stuff, boys.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Until
the time.
next time.
Great to see you guys. I'm looking forward to a fantastic 2020 with y'all.
Absolutely.
Get you some.
Ring 'em weedless.
See ya.
Get outdoors.
That's kind of I'm gonna have to put a little bit all up on my Flintlock here in a minute. Soon gonna be hanging that one up.
It's
You're what?
that comes and goes
Flintlock.
pretty quickly.
Oh, your Flintlock.
I think they extended the season though. I didn't pay much
I
attention to
thought
what
you
last
said
year.
Footlock.
No, my Flintlock. Buddy.
Well, that's something he did when he was an MMA wrestler.
That
My Flintlock.
Now, is that granulated powder that you put in there, or can you use pellets?
The idea with this rifle, this one in particular, is that you can use pellets.
Okay.
I tried it, and at the range, I was having a real hard time getting it to go off.
Okay.
You know, so I still use loose powder.
Yeah.
I do 2F in the barrel, 4F in the pan.
Yep. That's what.
And that's literally what you say after you try to fire it.
Oh, there's many more than 4Fs.
Yeah. They're in the process of doing some remodeling and moving, and so we were kind of rearranging some of his stuff, and then he
Did you
laid
just
out.
take it?
Well, no, he laid everything out.
Pick rearranged it to his truck. How's that look?
I found this.
A vocal is like a
hey, Fox.
That helping?
a fox bark.
Okay.
You know, fox bark or
Woof, woof.
Hey, Fox.
it doesn't quite sound like that, but
Stevie, that reminds me. I gotta show you my duck call sometime. But it goes a little bit like, here, ducky, ducky, ducky.
I thought you have a collar for ducks that they wear.